Did you know that Thailand, with an area of just over 500,000 square kilometers, isn't the largest country in the region, yet it has become one of Asia's most famous tourist paradises? Located at the gateway between Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Myanmar, it boasts popular destinations like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, Pattaya, and Krabi, attracting millions of tourists from around the world each year. But if you leave the brightly lit tourist spots and venture into the less visible neighborhoods, you'll encounter a different Thailand, quieter and more stressful, where the lives of the people unfold in spaces rarely seen. In the workers' dormitories near the tourist center, some people wake up in the middle of the night to make a living, while just a few streets away, hotels and resorts operate as if in a completely different world. On the same piece of land, two realities exist simultaneously, one visible and another always hidden from view. Join us as we step into the remaining slice of Thailand where the real stories begin. Number 1. PM 2.5 smog and its environmental impact in Thailand. In Thailand, there are days when the sky is no longer blue. From early morning, a thick layer of haze blankets the streets, but it's not fog, it's PM 2.5 smog. Tiny particles so small they can penetrate the human lungs. During the dry season, especially in Bangkok and the north, air quality sometimes drops to alarming levels, forcing residents to wear masks, use air purifiers, and adhere to recommendations to limit outdoor activities. For many first-time visitors, it's a shock that amidst a tropical tourist paradise, such a heavy atmosphere exists, invisible to the naked eye. Behind that haze lies a complex story. The burning of crop residue in agricultural areas, industrial activity, traffic emissions, and adverse weather conditions trap pollutants near the ground. In many areas of northern Thailand, mountain ranges were shrouded in smog for weeks. Children had to stay home from school, adults restricted outdoor activities, and hospitals reported an increase in respiratory illnesses. Gradually, checking air quality indexes every morning became a habit for many families. However, this story doesn't just stop at the people's efforts to adapt. In recent years, the Thai government has implemented many measures to reduce pollution, tightening regulations on open agricultural burning, strengthening seasonal forest fire monitoring, inspecting emissions from older vehicles, and expanding programs to encourage the use of public transportation. In some northern provinces, banning straw burning during peak periods has significantly reduced the number of days with PM 2.5 concentrations exceeding dangerous levels compared to previous seasons. In Bangkok, recommended work-from-home periods and restrictions on trucks during peak hours have also contributed to lowering pollution levels during the most severe periods. These measures haven't completely solved the smog problem, but they show that it's no longer a problem people have to endure alone. It has become a coordinated effort between the community, cities, and the government in a long-term journey to preserve a cleaner sky for Thailand. Number 2. The Buddhist kingdom and its millennia-old beliefs in Thailand. Thailand has long been known by a familiar name, the Kingdom of 1,000 Temples. Throughout the country, from the northern mountains to the plains and coastal cities, the image of temple roofs, golden pagodas, and shrine grounds is ubiquitous in daily life. According to many statistics, Thailand currently has between 35,000 and over 40,000 temples of all sizes. This number demonstrates that in most towns and communities, temples are an integral part of life and cultural space. The influence of Buddhism is also evident in how Thais perceive time. On administrative documents, public notice boards, and national calendars, the year 2025 is often recorded as corresponding to the year 2568 according to the Buddhist calendar. The parallel use of two calendar systems shows that religion is not only a matter of faith, but also a social structure that has existed and been maintained for generations. Furthermore, it is estimated that over 90% of Thailand's population follows Theravada Buddhism, creating the largest religious community in Asia. Within this extensive network of temples are structures of historical value and national cultural symbolism. These include Wat Phra Kaew in the Royal Palace area of Bangkok, home to the famous Emerald Buddha, Wat Pho with its large reclining Buddha statue complex, Wat Arun on the Chao Phraya River, and Wat Phra That Doi Suthep in Chiang Mai, a major pilgrimage site in northern Thailand. Many ancient Buddhist relics are located in the Sukhothai and Si Sachanalai areas of the Sukhothai Historic Sites, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, demonstrating the profound historical role of Buddhism in the nation's formation. In Thai cities and villages, temples are not only places of worship but also centers of community life, where festivals, education, charity, and activities closely linked to daily life take place. Calling Thailand the Kingdom of 1,000. Temples is not a figure of speech, but an accurate description of a country where religion, architecture, and daily life are intertwined and present everywhere. Number 3. Thai women and their important roles in society. Thai women are playing an increasingly important role in the workforce, with labor participation rates ranging from 60 to 62%, higher than the average for Southeast Asian countries. Women are dominant in the service, tourism, retail, education, and administrative sectors in major cities such as Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Phuket. In rural areas, they mainly work in agriculture, food processing, handicrafts, and family businesses. According to data from the Thai Institute of Economic Research, approximately 30% of small businesses and sole proprietorships in the northern and northeastern provinces are owned by women, demonstrating their strong contribution to the local economy. Thai women also have a high education rate, with over 55% of university students being female. However, income disparities between men and women persist, particularly in the service and tourism sectors. Although women are the majority in direct, operational positions, men hold higher-level leadership positions, creating a significant gap in career advancement opportunities. A recent report by the International Labor Organization, ILO, shows that women in the tourism industry earn 10 to 15% less than men, depending on the job position, resulting in a stark disparity in monthly income. Another notable issue is the migration of women from rural areas to cities in search of work. In the large industrial zones around Bangkok and Pattaya, many women work in workers' dormitories, sending money back home to care for their children and elderly parents. They work shifts with short breaks and high living costs, leading to a stark separation between work in the city and family life back home. According to statistics from the Thai Ministry of Labor, approximately 1.5 million women migrate for work each year, mostly from rural provinces, with a large proportion working in the processing and construction industries. For women in large cities, especially those in the middle class, pressure comes not only from work but also from personal image and social norms related to appearance and behavior in international work environments. In your opinion, what is the most significant change in the role of Thai women today? If you live in or have worked in Thailand, what pressures do you see most clearly in their daily lives? Number 4. The actual cost of living in Thailand and how to save money. In recent years, many policy changes in Thailand have occurred quietly but have had a significant impact on people's lives. In major cities like Bangkok and tourist areas, the redevelopment of old lodging houses, traditional markets, and low-cost residential areas has led to a rapid increase in the cost of living. A small room for unskilled laborers in the suburbs, which used to cost around $80 to $100 per month, now costs $110 to $140. For those earning between $300 and $450 per month, the increase of a few tens of dollars in rent has forced them to adjust their spending, sometimes cutting back on food or sending less money home to family. In many areas, the minimum wage is adjusted locally, ranging from $9 to $11 per day. In coastal tourist areas, wages may be higher, but the prices of food, transportation, and other living expenses have increased even more sharply. A simple meal, which used to cost only about $50 to $2, can now cost $3 to $4 in tourist-heavy areas. Electricity and water costs for a rented room also range from $25 to $40 per month. These figures may seem small, but for unskilled workers, they represent the difference between simply making ends meet and not. Furthermore, during infrastructure development and the expansion of subway lines, many old residential areas have been demolished or repurposed. Some families have had to relocate from their familiar homes to more distant areas with increased transportation costs. Behind the newly emerging shopping centers are cramped rental housing areas where workers live in difficult conditions and wages cannot keep pace with urbanization. Who is most affected by these changes? Migrant workers or low-income local residents? If you've ever lived in Thailand, what factors have you noticed the most significant changes in the cost of living, especially for low-income workers who haven't kept up with urban development? Number 5. Transportation in Thailand and the difficulties of getting around. Bangkok, renowned as one of the most congested cities in Southeast Asia, presents a significant challenge for its residents in their daily commutes. Surveys indicate that the average commute time for workers ranges from 90 to 150 minutes per day, equivalent to 20 to 25 hours per month spent commuting. This means that Bangkok residents spend a considerable portion of their daily time in traffic. Particularly in suburban districts, the distance from home to work can be 15 to 25 kilometers, but due to traffic congestion, the actual travel speed is only about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. Therefore, many people leave home as early as 6 a.m. and return after 8 p.m., even though their official working hours only occupy a small portion of the day. During peak hours, passenger density on urban subway lines almost always reaches 100% of train capacity. This creates an extremely crowded and stressful environment for commuters. Especially in areas around the city center, rent near subway stations can be 30 to 50% higher than in more distant areas, forcing lower-income earners to choose suburban locations. However, the longer commutes, the higher the cost of transportation. A commuter using a combination of subway and bus may spend between $80 and $120 per month on transportation, a significant portion of the income for many office workers. Recently, a survey from Chulalongkorn University indicated that approximately 35% of workers in Bangkok feel that traffic is a major factor reducing work productivity, while 40% believe it affects their health, especially for those with chronic conditions such as hypertension and cardiovascular disease. Main roads in Bangkok, particularly during peak hours, frequently experience traffic jams lasting more than 3 hours a day. This not only creates inconvenience, but also directly impacts work productivity and the quality of life for residents. For night shift workers, commuting at night reduces traffic congestion, but it results in a disruption to their daily routines, with irregular rest periods and higher nighttime living expenses. According to a study by the Bangkok Economic Institute, nighttime living expenses are 10 to 20% higher than daytime expenses, especially for food and transportation. So, in your opinion, which aspect of life in Bangkok do you think is most significantly affected by spending too much time commuting? Health, work productivity, or family life? If you've ever lived there, on average, how many minutes a day did you spend just standing in traffic waiting for the road ahead to move? Number 6. Service workers in Thailand and behind the tourism industry. In Thailand, the tourism industry creates an invisible divide between two worlds coexisting on the same street. On the front are upscale hotels, beachfront bars, and luxury shopping malls, where tourists spend between $200 and $400 a day on accommodation, drinks, and entertainment. Behind, just a few blocks away, are the cramped lodgings of local workers, where the common income is only around $350 to $500 per month. In the same space, there are those who travel for relaxation and those who are simply trying to make ends meet. In coastal tourist areas, a resort room costs between $150 and over $400 per night. Meanwhile, the majority of workers live in 12 to 18 square meter rooms, with rents ranging from $120 to $180 per month. Many rooms only have a fan, shared toilets, and enough living space for a bed and a few essentials. In some areas, 3 or 4 people share a room to reduce costs. The cost of food also reflects a clear disparity. A meal for tourists in the city center typically costs between $6 and $10. Meanwhile, workers usually spend around $1.50 to $2.50 on a simple meal of rice, eggs, or noodles and vegetables. Many cut back on eating out to save money, switching to cooking in their rooms or buying discounted items at the end of the day. Many service workers work 10 to 12 hours a day during peak season. Their income depends on tips and revenue, while the price of food, electricity, and living expenses in tourist areas are constantly rising. Some clean rooms in upscale hotels, scrubbing luxurious bathtubs and changing bed linens in rooms that cost as much as their entire month's rent. But when they returned, they showered with cold water, used fans instead of air conditioning, and carefully calculated every small expense to ensure they didn't exceed their remaining budget. Number 7. Thailand's economy depends on tourism and the unexpected consequences. For many years, tourism has served as a major pillar of the Thai economy. At one point, international visitor numbers reached approximately 30 to 32 million per year, with estimated total spending ranging from $45 to $55 billion. Numerous economic reports indicate that tourism and related industries contribute 18 to 20% of GDP, significantly higher than many regional economies, where this figure is below 10%. In some key tourism provinces, the proportion of jobs directly or indirectly dependent on tourism ranges from 35 to 50% of the local workforce, with service sector workers accounting for the largest share. The commercialization of living spaces is particularly strong in tourism hubs. Rental prices on major tourist streets have increased by 80 to 150% in just a few years, while property prices in some coastal areas have doubled or tripled compared to before the tourism boom. A large portion of residents' homes have been converted into short-term accommodation, significantly reducing the supply of long-term housing for local people. In some cities, the proportion of rental properties catering to tourists has risen to over 30% of the total housing stock in the city center. On a local economic scale, income and service revenue surge during peak season but decline significantly when tourist numbers decrease. Many labor surveys show that during periods of tourism slowdown, the rate of temporary job losses in the service sector can increase by 15 to 25%, while revenue for small businesses decreases by 30 to 50% compared to peak periods. External shocks such as global economic fluctuations, travel disruptions, or a decline in international tourism can immediately impact the income of entire communities dependent on this industry. In your opinion, is an economy where more than 1/5 of GDP is tied to tourism a sustainable development or a risk when fluctuations occur? If you've ever lived in a tourist city, how have you seen community life change when the number of visitors increases or decreases suddenly? Number 8. High quality and affordable healthcare in Thailand. Thailand's healthcare system is often considered one of the most accessible in the region, with a network of public and private hospitals covering all provinces and cities. Within the public healthcare sector, the National Health Insurance Program allows the majority of the population to receive medical care at low cost. In many public hospitals, initial consultation fees range from just $2 to $6, while the cost of medications and basic treatments is significantly subsidized, enabling low-income workers to access essential healthcare services. Simultaneously, Thailand boasts a high-quality private hospital system, particularly concentrated in Bangkok, Phuket, and Chiang Mai. Specialist consultations at private hospitals typically range from $30 to $60, while comprehensive health checkup packages cost between $120 and $300. Some surgical procedures and specialist treatments cost only about 40 to 60% of the price in the US or Europe, while the standards of facilities and care remain among the highest in the region. For many years, Thailand has been recognized as one of Asia's major medical tourism hubs. Each year, an estimated 2 to 3 million international patients visit for medical services, accounting for approximately 10 to 15% of the total patient visits at many large private hospitals. Areas attracting many foreign patients include dental treatment, cosmetic surgery, orthopedics, infertility treatment, and rehabilitation packages combined with medical convalescence. Nevertheless, the differences between public and private hospitals remain evident. In the public sector, waiting times can be long in densely populated urban areas, while the private sector offers faster service but at a higher cost, creating a multi-tiered choice structure between affordability and speed of access to service. If given the choice between lower cost but longer waiting times and faster service at a higher price, which healthcare model would you prioritize? Have you ever been to Thailand for medical treatment, or do you know anyone who has chosen this country as a medical destination? Number 9. LGBT in Thailand and strong social acceptance. In recent years, Thailand has emerged as a pioneering nation for LGBT rights in Asia, particularly after the passage of the Marriage Equality Act, allowing same-sex couples to legally register their marriages at the national level. This regulation not only grants same-sex couples the right to register their household residency, inheritance rights, and insurance coverage, but also access to other civil rights equivalent to those of heterosexual marriages. This has made Thailand the first country in Southeast Asia to achieve widespread recognition of same-sex marriage, creating a historic legal milestone for the region. In urban areas such as Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Pattaya, the LGBT community is prominent in cultural and economic spheres. Numerous social surveys indicate that over 60% of young people in major cities have positive attitudes towards the LGBT community. In industries such as creative arts, media, beauty, fashion, and cosmetic medicine, LGBT workers account for 15 to 25% of the workforce in some businesses. This not only contributes to the urban service economy, but also makes a significant impact on Thailand's popular culture. Furthermore, LGBT tourism is also a significant economic sector. Thailand estimates it welcomes 1.5 to 2 million LGBT tourists annually, with Bangkok, Phuket, and Pattaya consistently ranking among the top LGBT-friendly destinations in Asia. Cultural events, pride parades, and international exchanges not only add tourism value but also help reinforce Thailand's image as a symbol of an open and accepting society. The annual military recruitment system also sees participation from various gender groups. Some gay individuals continue to serve in the military, while transgender individuals are medically and administratively categorized separately. This reflects how the Thai state recognizes gender diversity in social life and acknowledges their contributions to important fields. So, in your opinion, what played a larger role in Thailand's journey toward LGBT acceptance? Legal changes, or a culture that was already open-minded? Do you think Thailand's model could serve as a role model for other countries in the region? Number 10. Thai cuisine and typical dishes in everyday life. Thai cuisine is globally renowned for its strong flavored dishes like tom yum, pad thai, and green curry, but in everyday life, Thai meals are much simpler and more down-to-earth than what you might see in tourist restaurants. In many residential and industrial areas, breakfast often begins with rice porridge, rice with fried eggs, or stir-fried minced meat. Minced meat porridge, chicken porridge, or egg porridge are popular choices, costing between $1.20 and $2 per serving. A plate of rice with fried eggs, stir-fried vegetables, or pork stir-fried with basil, called krapao mu, costs around $1.50 to $2.50 and is considered a quick and easy breakfast before work. For lunch, set meals with various savory dishes are commonly found at budget-friendly food stalls. Thais often choose rice with two side dishes from familiar options such as red curry, yellow curry, braised pork with eggs, ginger chicken, spicy fried fish, or som. Tam, a type of shredded papaya salad served with sticky rice. A two-dish rice meal typically costs between $2 and $3 USD, affordable for office workers and general laborers. Besides that, popular noodle dishes like pad thai, hu chiu, rice noodle soup, pork noodle soup, or curry noodles are also widely available in markets and street stalls. In the afternoon and evening, snacking becomes a characteristic feature of Thai urban life. People habitually buy small items such as grilled meat skewers, grilled sausages, fried banana fritters, grilled coconut cakes, pre-cut fruit, sugarcane juice, local milk tea, or cold soy milk. The price per serving usually ranges from 0.50 to 1.20 USD, reflecting the habit of dividing meals into several small portions throughout the day instead of just 3 fixed meals. In family dinners, many households still maintain a simple meal with light sour soup, fried fish, stir-fried meat and vegetables, and a spicy dipping sauce. However, in Bangkok, the rate of eating out in the evenings has increased due to long travel times and a fast-paced lifestyle. A large segment of the population chooses to buy ready-made food from night markets or takeout stalls instead of cooking at home. Dishes like khao man gai, boiled chicken rice, khao ka mu, braised pork knuckle rice, or modified versions of tom yum soup are all present in everyday dinners, showing that Thai cuisine is not only spicy and flavorful, but also adapts to the realities of people's lives. Number 11. Little-known hidden destinations in Thailand. Beyond its bustling and famous tourist cities, Thailand also boasts many lesser-known destinations where natural landscapes and community life retain a slower pace compared to major tourist centers. In the north, the Mae Hong Son region, near the Myanmar border, is considered one of the most remote and tranquil areas. Small villages nestled in valleys, winding mountain roads through forests, and lakes in the town of Pai offer a natural environment largely untouched by mass tourism. Many visitors come here to experience the cool climate, rural mountain life, and a sense of detachment from the fast-paced urban environment. Further west, Kanchanaburi province is known for its historic bridge over the River Kwai, but few realize that the surrounding hills and waterfalls are also an important part of the local landscape. The multi-tiered waterfalls in the forests, the emerald streams, and the riverside villages reflect the connection between humans and nature, where many communities rely on agriculture, fishing, and small-scale tourism rather than large resorts. In the south, beyond the bustling Phuket and Krabi, there are still tranquil archipelagos like Koh Yao Noi and Koh Yao Yai nestled in Phang Nga Bay. These islands offer a slower pace of life, with fishing villages, coconut groves, long beaches, and significantly fewer tourists than the more popular destinations. They reflect traditional coastal life, where locals engage in fishing while also providing small-scale accommodation services for groups of tourists seeking peace and quiet. In the northeast, the Isan Plateau boasts ancient Khmer-style stone temples and vast fields of sugarcane, rice, and cassava that stretch across the landscape throughout the seasons. Although it doesn't attract as many tourists as central and southern Thailand, this region offers a glimpse into a different side of the country, where the culture, cuisine, and way of life are more deeply rooted in rural traditions. Do you think quieter, lesser-known destinations like this are more appealing than the more famous tourist centers? If given the choice, would you prefer exploring a secluded island or a slow-paced mountain town in northern Thailand? Number 12. Differences between northern and southern Thailand in culture and lifestyle. Beneath the surface of a modern and vibrant tourist nation, Thailand still harbors a rich spiritual world where Buddhism, folk beliefs, and ancient faiths intertwine in daily life. One of the most noticeable images is the small houses placed in front of homes, shops, or buildings, known as spirit houses. People believe these are the dwelling places of guardian spirits of the land. Every morning, many families offer water, flowers, fruit, or hot rice as a way of maintaining a harmonious relationship between humans and the unseen world. In the north, particularly in Chiang Mai and Lampang, many communities still maintain the traditional Lana rituals of summoning spirits and worshipping ancestors. These ceremonies take place on special occasions, when people believe that spiritual balance needs to be strengthened within the family or community. Ancient songs, incense smoke, and drum rhythms create a spiritual space where the living and the deceased are connected through cultural rituals rather than words. In central and southeastern Thailand, several temples are associated with folk legends about miracles, amulets, and spiritual power. Many Thais believe in amulets called phra, which are obtained from temples and carried as symbols of spiritual protection. Many young people, drivers, small business owners, and laborers believe that these lucky charms can help improve their work or reduce misfortunes in their daily lives. In southern Thailand, rituals related to the sea and nature are more prominent. Some fishing communities still hold sea worship ceremonies at the beginning of the fishing season, when boats and fishermen gather on the shore to pray for safety and a bountiful fishing season. This is not just a religious ritual, but also a part of the community's memory passed down from generation to generation. In modern life, spiritual rituals are not opposed to urbanization, but rather coexist with commercial centers, traffic, and city lights. The spiritual world in Thailand is therefore not a story separate from reality, but a natural part of life, where beliefs, cultural memories, and community activities are preserved through generations. Number 13. Evening life in Thailand, from city to countryside. As the sun sets over Bangkok, the city begins to shift to a different rhythm. Central areas like Sukhumvit, Siloam, and Khao San Road become more vibrant and bustling than ever. Bars, restaurants, and street food stalls light up, catering to the dining needs of night shift workers and tourists. Dinner in Bangkok typically starts around 6 p.m. when families and workers begin flocking to night markets or local eateries. A meal of rice, noodles, or other street food costs only between $1.50 and $3, but in tourist areas, the price can reach $5 per meal. According to the Tourism Authority of Thailand, Bangkok's street food industry generates billions of dollars annually, contributing significantly to the city's tourism economy. Besides the night markets, food and entertainment districts also become centers of the city's evening life. Approximately 50% of workers in Bangkok work late, particularly in the service and retail sectors. Working hours can range from 8 to 12 hours a day, adding to the stress of evening life. Most service staff, taxi drivers, and hotel employees work late into the night, often until 11 p.m. or later. A survey by the Bangkok Economic Institute estimated that around 30% of service workers work weekends and night shifts with unstable incomes, especially during the low tourist season. In contrast, evening life in rural Thailand has a quieter and more tranquil rhythm. In northern provinces like Chiang Mai or northeastern regions like Isan, after a day of farming or trading, people often gather in small villages for dinner and conversation. Evening meals in the countryside are simpler, usually consisting of sour soup, rice, braised meat, and boiled vegetables. The cost of a family dinner ranges from just $2 to $4 USD. Recently, a study from the University of Thailand indicated that, despite lower incomes compared to major cities, rural residents have higher savings rates due to lower living costs and a less consumer-driven lifestyle. With average salaries in major cities around $450 to $500 USD per month, city dwellers have access to more amenities but also face high living costs. Meanwhile, in rural areas, people earn lower incomes, only $250 to $350 USD per month, but living costs are significantly lower. Although incomes are lower, the cost of living in rural areas reduces the financial burden on households, with housing, food, and basic services significantly less expensive than in cities. So, in your opinion, what do you think has the biggest impact on Bangkok's nightlife, people's health, work productivity, or family life? If you've ever lived in Thailand, what are the most noticeable differences in evening life between the city and the countryside? Number 14. Traditional Thai festivals and their importance in the community. Festivals play a vital role in the community life of Thailand, not only as occasions for fun, but also as times to maintain cultural values, connect people with each other, and with spiritual forces. Each year, Thailand hosts a series of large and small festivals, each with its own unique rituals, traditions, and meanings. One of the biggest and most famous festivals in Thailand is Songkran, the Thai New Year, which takes place from April 13th to 15th each year. It's a time to welcome the Buddhist New Year and a time for people to clean their homes, worship their ancestors, and bathe the Buddha. However, what makes Songkran the most beloved festival is not only the spiritual rituals, but also the vibrant street water fights. Each year, Songkran attracts over 10 million tourists, especially in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, and other major tourist areas, generating over $1 billion for Thailand's tourism economy. In major cities, water battles can start early in the morning and last until night, creating a lively and joyful festive atmosphere. Another festival with deep spiritual significance is Loy Krathong, held annually in November, on the full moon of the 12th month of the Buddhist calendar. This festival is an occasion for Thai people to release floating lanterns, krathong, onto the river, symbolizing the departure of bad luck and the wish for a peaceful new year. Loy Krathong is widely celebrated throughout the provinces and cities, especially in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Sukhothai, where spectacular lantern festivals take place. Millions of lanterns illuminate the water, creating a mystical scene. This festival attracts approximately 5 million visitors annually, making Thailand one of the region's most prominent cultural tourism destinations. Besides famous religious festivals, cultural and artistic events such as Yi Peng, a large sky lantern festival in Chiang Mai in November, are also very popular. Yi Peng is an occasion where thousands of lanterns fly into the night sky, creating a magical spectacle. This festival, held concurrently with Loy Krathong, attracts around 3 million participants each year and brings significant economic benefits to northern Thailand. Thailand also hosts flower festivals, music festivals, beauty contests, and sporting events, enriching local community life and culture. These festivals help strengthen relationships between communities and connect people, while creating opportunities for economic development through tourism and trade. In your opinion, which festival in Thailand has the greatest impact on community life and the local economy? Have you ever participated in any of these festivals in Thailand? If so, what were your impressions of the blend of traditional culture and modern life in these festivals? Number 15. Rules of conduct and travel preparations you need to know when visiting Thailand. When traveling to Thailand, in addition to respecting the rules of conduct and cultural norms, tourists also need to prepare thoroughly regarding visas, documents, and entry requirements to avoid problems. Thailand is a popular destination, but visa regulations and length of stay vary depending on nationality. Tourists from many countries may be granted visa-free entry for 30 days upon arrival at the airport or 15 days upon arrival via land border. If you plan to stay longer, you will need to apply for a tourist visa, which allows you to stay for 60 days and can be extended for an additional 30 days if there is a valid reason. However, overstaying your visa will result in a fine of 500 baht per day, and you may be banned from entering Thailand for several years if the overstay is long. Besides preparing your visa, tourists also need to carry a passport valid for at least 6 months from the date of entry. Visitors should also note that Thailand has strict regulations regarding vaccinations. If you are from countries with yellow fever outbreaks, you need to present a vaccination certificate. Additionally, if participating in outdoor activities such as trekking or mountain climbing, don't forget to bring mosquito repellent and sunscreen, especially in tropical areas like Phuket, Chiang Mai, or the northern provinces. Regarding the cost of living, Thailand offers very reasonable prices compared to Western countries. A simple meal costs between $1.50 and $3, while meals at upscale restaurants can cost up to $20 per meal. However, prices may be higher in popular tourist areas, especially during peak season. Cash is the primary method of payment in areas outside the city center, so visitors should prepare cash in advance when visiting areas with limited credit card services. Finally, when participating in religious ceremonies, visitors should dress respectfully and adhere to rules such as not touching other people's heads and not climbing on Buddha statues. The Wai gesture, hands clasped and a slight bow, is an important part of communicating with Thai people, especially when meeting elders and monks. And that concludes our exploration of Thailand. What do you think of the customs and life here? Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this content. Don't forget to like it, as that really helps the channel grow and bring you more amazing videos like this. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on notifications because there are always new destinations to discover and amazing stories to tell. See you in the next video.